Listen, New Year's resolutions are a no. It's time to learn how to set some real non negotiables for 2024 that will literally change your life. Welcome back to the channel. It's Dr. Angela Cudger with Legacy Holistic Health Institute. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top non negotiables you need to implement immediately if you're a woman over 40 and you need to keep these non negotiables as you move through this next year and beyond. We're going to talk a little bit about what those non negotiables should include, mind, body, and soul. And we're going to talk about why you should be setting non negotiables above goals and above resolutions. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. Before I jump into that, if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. I do hope that you find something amazing on this channel that you can relate to and resonate with, and that you could share with other people. This channel is dedicated to the health, wellness, and spiritual journeys of women over 40. If you're not a woman, you're not over 40, it's fine. You can still stay and kick it with us, but this information is meant for that population. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I do hope that you find something on this channel that resonates with you and that you feel like is worth sharing with someone in your network. This channel is dedicated to the health, wellness, and spiritual journeys of women over 40. If you're not a woman and you're not over 40, it's okay. You can still enjoy the content on this channel, but you do need to know that this content is geared towards that population. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. Your likes, your shares, your subscribes mean the world to me. And I do hope you like and find some value in this video as well. All month long, we're giving away gifts for the month of December. We have one more drawing coming up on New Year's Eve, and that will be done here on the channel. We've already given away one prize so far. We'll be doing one more before the year closes out. Every time you like a video on this channel during the month of December, your name goes into a drawing. Every time you comment on a video on this channel, your name goes into a drawing for mindful and amazing prizes that will be given out. All right, let's jump into the content. Now, here's why we set non-negotiables above goals and we set them above resolutions. Now, usually when a person resolves to do something or they set a New Year's resolution, we're coming up on the end of a year. We're coming up where this year has flown by, right? If you blink, you missed it. This was such a quick year, 2023. And my hope is that the harmony of the year 2024, which is an 8-year, the infinite harmony of that year kind of gives us a slower pace as we move into 2024. And so for those of you who felt like 2023 was a blur, my hope is that 2024 will slow down a little bit for us. But as it does so, we need to be careful of what it is that we're intending to do, the goals we're continuing to set, and the non-negotiables that we put in place that are kind of like the gatekeepers of our lives. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between resolutions, goals, and non-negotiables. And you guys, this is just my take. You put in the comments and let me know what you think the difference is between goals, between resolutions, and between non-negotiables. Resolutions to me come as a result of some kind of challenge or issue someone is looking to attempt to resolve. The challenge with resolutions is if the person puts the wrong solution in place, then the resolution breaks down and it doesn't hold, right? So they're forced with having to look for a different solution. But the thing that we have to remember is by the time we come up with a resolution or something that we think is the solution to a present challenge that we're facing, in our minds, our goal and our hope is that resolution actually works, that that what we put in place actually resolves the issue that we're faced with. Well, what typically happens is we reach back to solutions that we think are popular, or we reach back to solutions that we've done before and use those as current or upcoming resolutions. And it never fails. That solution simply does not work. So what do we do instead? Well, some people like to set a goal. So instead of saying, let me set a resolution to start back going to the gym to assist with my weight issue or to assist with my ability to begin to lose excess weight from the year that just passed. Well, the solution that we think might be what might help with the challenge might be going to the gym more frequently or getting back in the gym altogether and getting on a regimen to work out. Well, working out might not be the solution to the weight loss that we're seeking. It might be hormonal balance. It might be our diet or adjusting our diet. It might be something as simple as hydration or taking our daily supplements. So if we keep reaching for the same solution, it's no wonder that the resolution that we have ends up crumbling or it ends up not being what we thought it was going to be. All right. So that's the resolution. So the next thing we might set is a goal. So instead of a person saying, okay, I'm using the gym as, or getting back in the gym, I'm resolving to do that to assist with my weight loss. They might say, well, instead of me looking at the gym, they might expand their option and they might say, okay, instead of just going to the gym, I'm going to set a goal to lose 10 pounds. However possible. And they might start to implement a lot of different things that and the goal, just to fit that goal or just to hit that the mark of that goal, they might set up a lot of different things and say, here's what I'm going to do instead. Here's what I'm going to do concerning this goal. Now, the challenge with setting goals is that the same kind of thing that might happen with a resolution. It is time bound. If it's a SMART goal, it's specific, it's measurable, it is time bound, right? And it is something that we can literally check on to see if we actually did it. Well, again, if the solution that we put in place for that goal doesn't fit, or if something happens and we can't hit that goal, then we feel like in our minds, we failed. And so and it makes it that much more challenging to overcome that failure. Well, here's what you want to do instead. Instead of goals, and you can set some goals if you want, and you can set some resolutions if you want, but you'll still be those people who set resolutions and they turn around and within less than a month, the resolution or the goal is out the window. And they usually don't double back because they put so much thought and effort into what that was going to be in hopes that it would actually be successful. Let's talk a little bit about what non-negotiables are. Non-negotiables are things that you don't just add a timeline to. They are open and they are continuous throughout their life. They are new agreements that you set with yourself that are now not open for negotiation. They are things that you say, I am going to do this no matter what. They don't have a goal attached to them. They just have an agreement with you, your mind, your body, and your soul connected to these types of non-negotiables. So say, for example, if you're someone who's never on time, a non-negotiable might be that you always leave home an hour early, no matter if you have to go 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 45 minutes travel time. You always tell yourself, me leaving home an hour earlier is non-negotiable. That means I will always show up either early or on time for the places that I want to be. So you make sure that, okay, if I have to be somewhere at 2:00, I need to walk out that door at 1. When you have non-negotiables, it's easier to then put action into play concerning that non-negotiable. If I know I need to leave the house at 1:00 to make a 2:00 appointment, then I know I can set a quick alarm for 1:00 on my cell phone. That means when that alarm goes off, I'm walking out the door. So non-negotiables bring about action. They bring about swift change. And I'm going to share with you some non-negotiables that I have into place, but some new ones that I'm going to put into place for 2024. All right. So, and we're going to try to take these from like a mind, body, soul type of approach. And I think for the purposes of this, I'm going to start with the mind. So when it comes to the mind, the first non-negotiable that you want to be aware of in 2024 is taking care of your mental well-being. And here's what I mean by that. There's ways that you can do that by making sure you take vitamins and things like that. But there are two things that need to be non-negotiable no matter what. The first thing is therapy. Yes, you heard me say it. Therapy is the number one non-negotiable you need to have. If you've never sought therapy, if you've never sought, can counseling or anything like that, you want to make sure that you put something in place going into 2024, that you are building a relationship with the community health centers around you that might offer counseling. You are building a relationship with a specific type of therapist. You want to make sure you're starting to build that relationship now. Do not wait until you actually need a therapist or a counselor to try to then figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do. Talk to other people who have had therapy before. Talk to other people who are seeking therapy. See if you can get a referral, but find a therapist. I always tell people finding a therapist is like finding your bae or finding your new boo, right? You gonna kiss some frogs, which is why you want to look for one before you actually need it, because it's going to make all the difference. And in doing so, you want to have questions available specific to the things that you might need counseling or therapy for. And you want to be able to ask those questions during that 15-minute or 20-minute free, whatever the consultation might be. You're interviewing them as well to make sure that they are a good fit, the same as you would do for anything else that you're looking to build a relationship with. Here's why I say therapy is number one for mental well being. Food doesn't fix mental well being, it does not. Working out also doesn't fix mental well being. These things can enhance how you feel, but internally, how we think and how we react and the emotions attached to our thought processes need assistance when we need someone to talk to. Trauma happens all the time, everywhere, to everyone. Your mom is not your therapist. Your partner is not your therapist, no matter how they might say, you need to talk to me. You need to tell me what's going on. Yes, you can do that, but you have individuals who are, unless your partner is a therapist, unless your mama's a therapist, right? You need to talk to people who are trained to do this. We are not designed to put our burdens onto other people. There are people available and trained to assist with this. Those are therapists and your counselors, right? And so everyone needs therapy, period. That's just my opinion. Everyone has some type of filter, especially if you're not living the life that you want to live. You are constantly being stopped. You have fears. Therapy, therapy, therapy. I cannot say that enough, right? So that's the first non-negotiable. Get a therapist. Start interviewing them. Start looking at them. Insurance covers most of it now. Get a therapist. All right. No one else is your therapist. All right. No one like your girlfriend circle. All of these people have their own filters. They have their own issues and they have their own things. Therapists are people designed to bear this specific kind of weight. That is who you need to talk to. All right. So that's the first thing for the mind. The second is your mental well being. The second thing you want to be aware of is how you are internally and how you are mentally. And you want to sandwich your day with meditation or with a meditation practice. Now, there is a video on this channel that goes in detail about different kinds of meditations, whether it's Vipassana, transcendental, mindfulness meditation, whatever it is. Figure out the type of meditation that you want and bookend your day with meditations. Again, it will lead you to action. Set an alarm. If you're going to do your first meditation at 6 a.m., from 6 a.m. to 6, and all you need is 10 minutes, 6 a.m. to 6:10 a.m., set an alarm. And when it goes off, do your meditation. And then you want to bookend your day, meaning you want to do it at the end of the day as well. So you want to start with your meditation in the morning for gratitude and kind of walking yourself mentally through the day that you're looking to have. Make sure that as you mentally walk through your day and meditate, you're actually, taking in and breathing and letting yourself know that this is the kind of day of favor and of gratitude I want to cultivate. And then at the end of the day, your bookend or your last 10 minutes of meditation before you go to bed at night, or prayers, you can do both and, right? And so you want to make sure that you're bookending your day with meditation as well to let everything go. This will help assist with the therapy that you're using so that you've got a mindfulness-based practice that will allow your therapy to extend even further. And it'll allow the effects of the therapy to be seen a lot sooner. All right. So that's the first non-negotiable. Mental health, better mental health in 2024, non-negotiable. Get a therapist on the payroll, get a therapist on your team, or get a therapist, in your Rolodex, however you want to do that. The best place to go to do that is going to probably be Psychology Today, where you can use all the filters for all the thousands of therapists that are in the United States, and you can find whoever it is you want to be connected to. Okay. Now, and then the second non negotiable is bookending your day with meditation. All right. The other ones that we're going to talk about have to do with the physical body. All right. Cardio every single day. You are responsible for heart health every single day. I don't care if you're skipping weights. I don't care if you're not going to the gym properly. Get out and walk. Get out and do your cardio. Your cardio for 20 to 30 minutes per day is non-negotiable. Every day you wake up and your heart is beating, you require cardiovascular health. You require greater cardiovascular health. Get up and do your cardio. Tell yourself every single day that you are responsible for cardiovascular health and enhancing that. You do that by making sure that you move your body cardiovascularly, get your heart rate up in some kind of way. Okay. The fourth non negotiable is going to be wearing some kind of device that tracks your cardiovascular health and that tracks your sleep. So, one of the things that I want you to start looking at is the technology that you have available to you that will allow you to determine or look at your overall health. These are going to be your Fitbits. These are going to be, some people wear a ring that allows them to monitor all of these things. But you want to make sure that tracking how you feel and tracking all of these things and your sleep quality, that is going to be a non-negotiable in 2024. And like I said, non-negotiables drive us to action and it gets us moving, and it becomes habits that we never change. So we never have to then turn around and resolve to lose weight or balance our life. We've got non-negotiables in place. We've got agreements with ourselves in place to where we don't need to do that anymore. So this is the shift I want you to make in the way that you think about becoming better over time or becoming better as you age as a woman. The other non-negotiable concerning the body, besides making sure that you do your cardio every day, making sure that you wear some kind of device that tracks it, and then the third thing that you want to do is make sure that you're getting some kind of protein in. All right, I'm going to be the advocate for plant-based protein, but you want to be doing two other things concerning your body when we're talking about internally taking things in. You want to make sure that you're getting your vitamins. So 3, make sure you're getting your vitamins. You want to do at least a gallon of water a day. There was a quote that I read from a doctor and that I used to work with, and he said, people aren't sick, they're just dry, they're just dehydrated. Most people do not drink enough water to help sustain the proper hydration in their bodies. A gallon of water is only 4 liters. The average body can hold in excess of 16 liters of water per day in a 24-hour period. 1 gallon is only 4 of those liters. You can drink a gallon of water a day. It's pretty much a small amount compared to everything that your body can actually hold before you have water toxicity or have any adverse effects from drinking water. A gallon of water is non-negotiable. Set an alarm for every 2 hours to drink a liter. That's over an 8-hour period for you to work a liter in. So set an alarm. Again, drive yourself to action so that you are drinking water. There are water drinking apps that are out there as well. I don't use those, but they can be very effective. You can also track your water intake through MyFitnessPal and lots of other different platforms. But the gallon of water is non-negotiable. The other thing that is non-negotiable is taking your supplements. Like, you shouldn't have to be told that you need vitamin D, C, A, E, K. Like, you shouldn't have to be told that you need these things, calcium, magnesium, right? All of these things help the body to work properly, macro and micronutrients, and you need the vitamins inside of your system for things to work properly. Vitamins are non-negotiable. Set an alarm, take them once a day, and be done with it, right? The other thing for your physical body is going to be getting in enough protein. As we age, we need to make sure that we do something to balance and make sure that we have and preserve the integrity of our muscles. We definitely should be lifting heavier as we age. For some reason, women stop lifting or they don't lift enough, right? They don't lift anything heavier than their purse. And as we age, you want to preserve the muscle integrity and you want to make sure that you're doing resistance workouts, right? So as we're doing this, your non-negotiable needs to be getting enough protein so that as you break down these muscles during your workout, you're building them back up with the food that you eat. And of course, I'm going to be an advocate for plant-based protein because our overall body systems need to be healthy as well. I'm going to tell you to get in half your body weight in grams of protein. So if you weigh 120 pounds, you're going to get in 60 grams of protein at a minimum per day. Make that your new non-negotiable. You can track it until you can look at it and eyeball it and make sure that you're getting enough. And then I always try to start with at least 30 grams of protein. And so after I come from the gym in the morning, that 30 gram of protein drops into my body and it's a big dent in my half that I need for the day, if that makes sense. Okay. So say if I needed, 75 grams of protein in my case, right? 30 is almost half of that. Right. And so we've got to make sure that we get a head start on the protein so that we're not missing it throughout the day. All right. Now, when we're talking about our soul, so now you know what non-negotiables to put in place for the mind, you know what non-negotiables to put in place for the body. Let's talk a little bit about the soul. I always tell people that the way they treat their soul is like their base is their baseline, right? Your spiritual walk and the way that you understand and unfold your soul over this next year is going to be based on your baseline and how you are developing yourself. There are so many ways to unfold your soul. If you're someone that's like, I don't even know what that means, there's so many ways to do that. And I'm going to give you a couple of my favorite ways to be able to do that. One of the things that I absolutely love to do is pray. So I pray about the unfoldment of my soul and making sure that I'm going in the right direction. I don't think I'm one of those people that subscribes to the fact that nothing is coincidental, that every single thing that we do is numbered and it is formed from a higher order of what we are following, the God within that we are following. There is a higher order for every step that we take, every single thing that we do. And then the other thing that I do besides pray is I also make sure that when I'm looking to unfold my soul, I'm gathering resources that will allow me to develop myself and unfold my soul in that way. What do I mean by that? Well, the one thing that I did throughout the year is I collected titles of audiobooks or regular books and put them on a wish list. All of the ones that have to do with the unfoldment of the soul. The ones that were either some were on New York Times bestsellers, books that I have vetted. So now I'm ready to take that next journey coming into 2024. I hope that makes sense. So you're going to take a journey. You might say, in the case of having audiobooks, I exclusively listen to audiobooks. Every now and then I buy paperback books and read those. I can listen to an audiobook twice a day easily and finish a book in a week. So you might say listening to an audiobook 30 minutes out of the day every day is non-negotiable. And then you might listen to a book on shamanism. You might listen to a book on meditation. You might listen to a book called The Untethered Soul, right? You might listen to The Honeymoon Effect, right? All of these different things that are reading the Tao, right? You might listen to something that has to do with your spiritual development. I always tell people, like I said, your spiritual development is your baseline. So when someone says, oh, I'm a great person or I'm a good XYZ, the first question that pops in my mind is, according to what? According to who? What's your baseline? And if they have no spiritual base, they have nothing that they're following. There's nothing specific that they're doing. They're not in therapy fixing their issues. I kind of look at them sideways and say, your good person is subjective at this point, right? Because you're good based on Based on what? You don't have something to set a standard for how you live your life. You don't have something that sets a standard. And when we go on a journey that unfolds the soul and truly heal, that is what sets the standard and the baseline for who we are and how we treat ourselves, how we love ourselves, and then how we treat and love other people. We don't have a baseline. We don't have anything to go on. We're kind of just winging it if we really think about it. And so we want to make sure that over the course of 2024 that we skip the resolutions and that we, in some cases, kind of skip the goals too. We put non-negotiables in place and we follow them with the things that we're wanting to do. Now, I know you're probably saying, okay, Dr. Angela, but I still want to know what I'm doing in the beginning of my year and throughout my whole year. Great. Here's what I'm going to give you one other little tidbit of advice. A lot of times when people plan out the whole year, by the summer, they're exhausted from trying to reach their goals. They're burnt out and they're no longer excited from what they thought they were going to do. And now they say, well, we'll try it again next year. When the reality of it is, we really should be taking, if we're truly evolving, if you're putting all these things into place, you're putting yourself into a space of expansion every time you listen to a new book. You're putting yourself in a space of greater expansion every time you go to a therapy session. You're putting yourself in a space of greater expansion every time you go for a meditation walk in your cardio time every day. You are putting yourself in a space of expansion every time you do these things. Why would you plan out the whole year? Your mindset in January is going to be completely different by the time you get to April. So planning out an entire year just doesn't make sense. Now, you can put some things on the calendar that you think are non-negotiable for you. Like if you know you've got a wedding coming up in November, those aren't things I'm speaking about. I'm speaking specifically about goals people set every single quarter or goals they set for an entire year out. No, you don't know how you would have developed in the mindset you have in January. By the time March comes, you may be exponentially beyond that mindset. If you've been doing these things for 90 days, you've been observing your non-negotiables for 90 days, you're a completely different person at that point. So why would you set up a year? It doesn't make sense, right? So if you're going to put non-negotiables in place, you've got to be used to, or you've got to get used to planning out your year 12 weeks at a time. Yes, I said it. Planning out your year 12 weeks at a time instead of 365 days or 52 weeks at a time, right? That way you can quickly adjust. You can quickly change up goals if you set them. You can quickly go back at it in the second quarter or in the third quarter. You can quickly do some things that make sense for your life, for your mind, and for the development and continued growth of all these things in your life. Okay? So now you have your non-negotiables, and now you have a suggestion. If you're someone who just wants to do goals 12 weeks at a time, set some goals 30 days out, set some goals 60 days out, check in with yourself at that 60-day mark and determine what you're going to do for the next 90 days, period. And then after that 90-day marker, right before the week before the next 30 days or next 90 days happens, that's when you want to start setting some more goals if you do it that way, right? But I set a few goals that are just for the first quarter, whether it's a revenue goal, an enrollment goal into the school, a partnership goal. And I set overarching intentions for the year. So for example, my overarching intention is building community and partnerships, period. Building community and partnerships. So this might be me partnering with corporate, healthcare, and federal organizations. And it might be me building a community for these organizations, building a community for health coaches to do different things and connect, and building community among our followers here. And so those are my overarching intentions for the year. And then I set goals in Q just for quarter one, right? I set intentions just for quarter one. So I'm not thinking about May. I'm not thinking about April. I'm thinking about January, February, and March. That is it. That is it. Because if I did my non-negotiables and I didn't change or break these non-negotiable or agreements with myself, these new agreements with myself, if they're new, right? If I didn't break those and I adhere to those, my mindset for what I've set up for January, I'm already past that by the time I get to March. So we want to make sure that we're aware of how we can continue to grow and how we can continue to foster an environment for our growth. Listen, I hope you got something absolutely valuable out of this particular video today. Please consider, if you haven't already yet, like this video, drop in the comments what you think about non-negotiables versus goals versus resolutions, and how you intend to set or do your own for this new year coming up. And if you haven't already yet, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Something like this.